If it ain't raining, you ain't training, right? She's a dumping, my friend. Dumping? Beautiful though. I've got my tarp set up down. I had this up in, I'd say it took me 5 minutes. I've been practicing. That's a good thing when it's raining. Yeah, she's dumping. Love it. Beautiful sight. Stayed here before. I shot a 5-night video here once, like 4 or 5 years ago. Somebody left me some wood. Yeah, it's the first time I've got to test setting up in the rain. So that was important for me. Because, ooh, look at those trees. The colors are beautiful. That's the important part with your systems, is testing it like it's really going to be, like right now. Dumping rain. And I was able to get that up. So I'm excited. Wood's all wet, but you've seen before, as long as you keep it around the fire that you get going with your driest wood, it dries out pretty good. Might have to baton it down, split it up, but it's a lot of wood. It'll never cease to amaze you what you find up here in the fire pits. Who brings this stuff up here? Look what we got in this one. Plastic window blinds, window shades. Halfway burned in the fire pit. USB cable. Solid. Figuring that's a Yodi. Unless whoever this person was off their dog up here. I'll see if I can find more bones. The very first thing I do when I get to a camp is set up the tarp. Next thing I do is I set up my bedding. Now I've got cover and I've got the bedding all set up ready to go inside the van. So if it really gets bad, wind picks up, the rain is out of control, you can get in that bed. It's all ready to go. What I love about the cold is everything stays cold. So here's my milk. I've got my stuff in my little cooler in the back, ribeye steak. And we've got Lunchables. I scored this Carhartt Gore-Tex jacket at the bins. But you never know until you take it out and put it in the elements. It's pretty much failing. I'll break out my other jacket, but I've already got one that's wet, so it's a big thing if you're going to camp up here. We're in Oregon, so it's wet. Minus the summer, it's wet. Damp, wet, rain. If you don't like being wet, you're not going to enjoy this. You just get used to it. I guess in Oregon, you're just used to it because you're from here and you've been in it for 50 years. But as humans, we've gotten way far away from being comfortable in the rain. One drop and, ooh, no! If I want to get a fire going, the issue is you've got to conserve your wood extremely. Especially now I'm doing little baby fires underneath this. Got to conserve wood So it's only 3:30. I can't start a fire now. It gets dark up here. It should be about 6:30, I guess. So you gotta wait till that last moment. Boom! Just before you're losing your light. Where it's not, I've lit in a million fires in the pitch black, but it's nice to be able to see what you're doing. Since it's 3:30, we don't want to start that fire yet, right? Too early. So we have to conserve our resources. There's always something to do, chores. So we've got this wet wood that we pulled from the fire pit. Somebody left here. Got a Mora Garberg full tang. Beautiful knives. Anything Mora, bulletproof. Mora Garberg. This is the carbon. So we got time. Get ourselves a baton. Right. So I'll baton all this down and gives me something to do and gets me ready. Always be preparing. There's always something to do. No rest for the wicked. Not up here. There we go. I bucked up 90% of that wood. I left a couple fatties. Maybe they'll dry out in time to burn tonight. See, I've got all that up off the ground. You just pick one log that you're going to sacrifice, put it down, and then stack the rest of the little pieces on it. The sacrifice logs, so that way those are up off the ground, there's no conduction. And now they've got convection. Even though it's cold and raining, they're still there. It's still got convection. They're still drying out right now. So that's good. That's a full night's worth of wood. Good deal, for free. All right, so I batoned down that dry wood that I have. I've got this fire starter thing. Let's see what she does. Make a little teepee. See if she'll catch. Big lighter. First time, every time. It's just barely even staying alive. It'll be enough to get her going, but I don't know if I'd rely on it. So there's that tarp you can see. Can't be out here too long, I'm getting soaked. But I just ran it with some bungees just to give me some cover, concealment. And then you see I've stacked all the wood, moved it in closer to the fire so we can take advantage of that heat. She's coming down hard now. So for dinner I just had a box of goldfish. Fire's going good. I'm going to finish up this video and then probably just climb in the van and watch movies and go to bed. That's all for tonight. Ciao.
Bonjour. Buenos días. Guten Tag. Slept real good. Oh, man. Get some light in here. Slept real good. So warm. could just sleep forever. Which I'm gonna do. I'm gonna sleep a little bit more and get up. The sun's
I'm awake. I've just been doing chores. Right away, I'm taking advantage of this sunshine and getting everything hung up. Just using those guy lines. Gotta take advantage of it. This guy had to pop off the back hatch because I had to do a repair on it. So I gotta get him back on. But I couldn't do it because I had no room in there. This is that Carhartt that failed, so that'll be going away. These are incredible boots. These are Uggs with sheepskin lining. Leather. Beautiful boots. This is my stove setup, which you've seen. Just a vintage Coleman stove. When I've got it run here, propane, got the converter, so that way I can run it up to the 12 or 15 pound tank up top. It's beautiful. Let me turn it down. Turn it off. That's plenty warm. These filters are, I would definitely get them. They help a lot. But another trick that I learned from a guy who does propane is he said, in your line, a big problem is that people run it straight. And if you just let it have a loop naturally, this one just naturally has 2 loops, that will keep all of the crap out of the lines and out of the unit. But it's pretty cool how that just lines up right on the bed and it's secure. That may be the way it goes. Learned a lot of good lessons last night. And I nailed it, man. It was pouring and it never stopped. It just kept going. But the biggest thing I learned was when I originally set up the tarp, it wasn't totally taut. By the end of the night, I had it all taut, dropped that leg all the way down, and it was beautiful. The water was just coming off, no problem, no pooling. So I'm excited for tonight, if it rains. Now watch, I'll be up here for 3 more nights with no rain. The way I do things, every day I set tasks. You know, like a list. Bullet points. Boom, 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 boom. Because I got a lot of stuff to do. And if not, you can get lazy up here and do nothing. So, I've got tasks. So, task number 1 was to get everything out and get it drying, get it up. Task number 2 for today is going to be to address this disaster that is my van that's just packed overboard with stuff, and I can't be like this. It's total chaos. Look at this. You can see it's just a disaster. So the goal is to get this wood out of here and then buy that real estate so I can get this stuff out of here, give me my living space back. Organize my food pantry. This is out of control. You can see that's just total chaos in there. Number 3 is to build a rock fire pit back there under my tarp, because I was getting so much seepage from the ground. It was coming up, even though I had my 3 logs down, it was coming up out of the ground because of the massive downpour and putting my fire out, making it difficult. Number 4 is to move all this wet wood that we found when we got here, move that over to the very far corner that's going to be the down corner. Number 5 for the day is going to be to take my bedding, take it all apart. I'm going to take a wool blanket. We'll see how it ends up, but I'm going to strip the bedding down and wrap the bed in a wool blanket. Then number 6 is going to be tonight to cook this steak up. It's a ribeye, so I'm excited. See what I'm doing here on the bed. I've cleared out space so I can get in here. And I've got this military wool medical blanket. I'm just gonna line this, put it over it. It's just long enough, and I've got about 4 inches on each side so I can just get it nice and laid out correctly. Just take your time. It's a little frustrating, but you do it right the first time, you get it all nice and taut. Get it in there good. It's gonna make a big difference when it's cold. I mean, this is absolute luxury. Look at this. I've got 2 pillows, 2 down pillows. It's amazing. It's absolute luxury. You saw that stuff last night. If you're in the military, you're in that same stuff, even worse, freezing cold. And guess what? You're either in a bivy bag, like a Ranger burrito, or you're under that little military poncho. This is luxury. Think about World War I in the trenches, World War II in the foxholes. You know, you'll see pup tents and whatever, but my grandpa was in World War II. He got picked up by Patton's army. He said, bullshit, man. You slept in the dirt. You slept in a barn. You slept wherever you could sleep. And you made us sleep for 15 minutes. In a week. In a month. Afghanistan. Freezing cold. Brutal weather. And what do those guys have? I mean, they can't even make a fire. Because you make a fire, you just gave yourself away. So, just remember, this is all crazy when you first get into it, and it's scary, and it's small, and you're, but just think of these people. People have survived for millions of years out here, and they didn't have any of this. So you'll get used to it. And I'm very, very grateful for my luxury. These are vintage, some are newer, but mostly vintage U.S. military 100% wool bag or wool blankets. So if you can get them, I picked all these through the Goodwill bins, believe it or not. Somebody one time dumped a whole bunch of them. I had an obsession with them. I think I had like 15 of them because you can't pass them up. Because for this size and this thickness, 100% military or 100% wool. Now, if you buy them, even at the surplus store, they're $150. That's at a military surplus store. And I'd recommend paying the extra money, get 100% wool. Wool is the key to all of this. It's antibacterial, you're not going to smell. If it gets soaking wet, it still retains 80% of its heating value. You know, wool is the key. Wool's been the key for thousands of years, right? Amazing. Okay, next project. I'm going to gather up some rocks to make a little rock fire pit to avoid that seepage that I dealt with last night. Look for these. These are for carrying wood. It's 100% leather, but you can carry lots of different stuff in them. Make short work of it, right? Work smarter, not harder. So I'm going to gather up some rocks and make a little rock fire pit. That's a nice one right there. Fire pit set up with those rocks. So now we're going to move this wood over, right to the edge. Give us space here. Next project is to get this wood out from underneath where I normally store it, and I'm going to burn it up while I'm up here. I'm going to be up here for like 3 or 4 more nights, so I'll go through it. And then I'm going to move some luggage underneath there, see how it fits, Tetris style. It's a serious violation of my rules because this is all bone dry, in there, nice and dry. Now I'm pulling it out into the elements, but it's so dry that it'll be fine. Get yourself one of these. Keeping your van clean, or your car, whatever you're in, your RV, crucial. Cleanliness is next to godliness, right? Now the goal is to get my recovery bag that's got all my recovery gear in it to this very back portion. So this is my bug out bag. I'll show it to you sometime. It's a little huge. And this is my recovery bag. I'll show you some of what's in it because I don't feel comfortable and being out. You've got to rely on yourself, and you've got what you've got. So in here there's, tow strap, battery jumper cables, tools, flares, so on. I'm not coming out without that stuff, so what are you gonna do? It's gotta come. I have a manual. Not the one that comes in your glove box. I have this one. This thing 1,000,000 times. It's saved my ass. Get one for your vehicle. Got the generator going, charging up my Out XC battery packs. So when I edit these videos, it uses up, power. So the generator's beautiful. Just bucking up toning down some wood. This is the last of that dry wood that I have for tonight. See this right here, this line, this natural line? That's called a check. So it's already in the wood, it's split right there, a check. So when you're cutting it with an axe, you want to line up with that check and take advantage of it. birch bark. Got some little babies ready to go. Spark her up. It's always a good idea to use a log in the back so it props it up so you get an instant side to your teepee. Just let it grow. And as soon as that flame gets above here, we'll add more kindling. We'll move up to a bigger size. Flame's looking real good. So that means I'm gonna go the bigger piece. A little fatter. So first guy's going in. Let's get this baby sparked up. Got my cast iron. I was going to tell you, I think you saw me squirting this on here earlier. This is distilled white vinegar. Pick these up, they're like 99 cents. But this has been used to clean and disinfect utensils and cookware for thousands of years. It works. Salt and pepper. It's that beautiful T-bone. That's what I normally do. You know, you got to rub it in. That's my camping when I'm up here. Rub it in. I'm not too greasy. Don't forget some over your shoulder. It's bad luck. Looking good. Going in. Yeehaw! All right. Got a nice sear on that. Turn that flame down. Salud. I'm excited to eat this steak. This is an experiment with my red headlamp. Play around with red headlamps. They're important. I'm about an hour and a half away from Portland, Oregon, and apparently the northern lights are going to be visible tonight from here. It happens very rarely, so I'm going to venture out and see if we can see them. I came down a service road that I know that goes way down, maybe, 5-minute walk, and it gets down to a big clearing. So I looked around. I've got a full view of the skies. All the stars are out. Totally clear skies, but I don't see any northern lights. But I just came across some killer firewood. So I'll definitely be down here tomorrow, and I don't know if this will pick it up. This is it. It's probably about a 15-foot tree down. I'd say probably about 8 inches in diameter. So that's killer. I can drag that back, cut it up with my chainsaw. See the glow of my fire. Yeah, that'll be killer if I can find those northern lights and see them. That'd be beautiful. It's like a once-in-a-lifetime thing. Well, I'm back here. I'm just editing the video. It's looking good. Fun day. Got a couple things accomplished. So, I can't remember what movie I'm going to watch tonight. Got a bunch. I'll tell you what I watch tomorrow. All right. Adios. Buenas noches. Wakey, wakey, eggs and bakey. Beautiful day. It got real cold last night. It's real cold today. It dropped, I guarantee you, it dropped 15 degrees, 20 degrees. I've got my nighttime, my cold weather gear on. Slept real good. I watched John Wayne movie. You don't get better than John Wayne, man. Old world. So yeah, I slept great. Super warm, and I had that wool blanket on the bottom, and instant, you could tell the difference. Total different R value. Beautiful. Never saw the northern lights. Didn't happen. But what I did find when I was out in that little pasture there, that clearing, I found a beautiful piece of wood, so I'm gonna get the chainsaw down off the truck, off the van, and go down there. And it's too big to haul all the way back here, so I'm gonna have to cut it, bring it back, and then cut it up. See you there. Oh. Chain's a little loose, so tighten her up. This is that service road that I came down last night. It leads down to that clearing. This is where I found this beautiful log that's going to be great firewood for us. And there she is. Anytime you're cutting wood with a chainsaw, and there's a bunch of safety precautions, but at least wear some glasses. I can't find my safety glasses, so I'm just going to wear these. So if you get an eye injury when you're up here, ruin your game, man. got dark real quick. I got caught up editing the video. I'm gonna get this fire started. I'm using gasoline, so I can't do it under the tarp because that initial get it all deformed. And so I'm just gonna do it outside the tarp and then move it in. I've got it on 3 logs, so I'll get it going and then move it under the tarp. Bombs away. Stand back. Oi.
I'm gonna brew up some coffee. And we'll get going.